Hey folks, how's it going? Jeff S, aka True Knowledge, humbled to be the co-host and creator of the MCU'S YouTube channel and podcast. Prematurely, or I guess not prematurely, but starting off solo. Could be solo for the whole show. Don't think I will be though. Um, just waiting on some stragglers. Either way, Wonder Woman 2009, the fourth animated DC animated film released. Great film, probably the best one out of the four I've seen out of the ones released so far. Not overall, I wouldn't say. But in general, we welcome you to the MCU Splitting Edge. It's good to see all of you. There he is. What up, Cyber?
Hello.
Uh, there's Cyberneticshark. So no, folks, you will not be exposed only to true knowledge for the entire fucking evening. You can thank God and thank Cyberneticshark. He saved you from me soloing on you for 6 hours and 47 minutes. Um, because I could extrapolate this review into that somehow into that equation. Excuse me, for 6.75 hours, just to be clear, or 6.25. But no, folks. Cyber, good job with the hat. I obviously got mine on too. We're waiting for Andres, and then I've got a smorgasbord of other guests that were half and half for the show. So you know what I mean. They'll either be here or they won't. Either way, don't worry. Cyber and I will be stepping up our DC merch very soon because we're going to be doing a lot of DC animated film reviews. It looks like between now and June, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I was just saying before you came on, Cyber, Wonder Woman to me, as far as I'm concerned, was the best DC animated film I've seen out of the four that we've reviewed. I thought it was overall the best film in general, and I wish that they would have modeled as much as I like the first Wonder Woman live action film. If they would have modeled it and tailored it more along the lines of this, I think it would have been even better. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great animated film, great humor. Um, Steve Trevor, just unbelievable. Really good in this. Not the Steve Trevor we got in Wonder Woman at all. But again, folks, Wednesdays, all the way through till June, till what is it, Cyber? Whatever, June 20, whatever, when Secret Invasion drops. Um,
21st.
21st. So whenever the 21st, when we switch over to Secret Invasion, I believe it's going to be DC animated film reviews all the way up until then, which it really isn't all that far from now. And before we get too DC orientated, we do have our Guardians of the Galaxy review coming up. Obviously, the film drops on the 5th. I believe we're going to be reviewing it on the following Wednesday, which I want to say is either the 11th or the 12th. But Cyber, I'm sure you can correct that for me. Somewhere along those lines. But that's when we'll be doing our review. Oh, you hear yourself, Cyber? Are you echoing? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. How about now?
Hello. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Echo cancellation, baby. There you go. It's such a bitch, I'm telling you. Anyways, folks, but that's before I start to go on a tangent about echo cancellation, which I have spoken to StreamYard about. We're waiting for Andres too. Andres is going to be here. He won't miss this. But no. Bottom line, we will be covering the Guardians of the Galaxy. That following week on that Wednesday. That will be the only Wednesday, I guess, we won't be doing a DC animated film between now and Secret Invasion. So we've got Green Lantern next Wednesday. I believe it's called what? What is the title of it? I looked it up earlier today. Either way, I'll find it in a minute. It's not just Green Lantern. It's Green Lantern the Bright or something like that. Then we have Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. And then we have Justice League, what is it? Crisis of Two Earths, Cyber?
I believe here I'm looking it up real quick here. Okay, so we're doing Wonder Woman right now. So next week you said would be Green Lantern First Flight.
First Flight.
Yep, and then Superman, Batman, Public Enemies the following week, and then yes, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths.
There you go. So basically, then at that point, we'll have enough time to fit in one more DC animated film. We'll be able to do the Green Lantern one. Then we'll have Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we'll be right back, and we'll go right back, and we'll jump into the Superman, Batman, Public Enemies one. Or however it goes, however they follow each other. So once again, please, this is the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Support us, subscribe, follow the podcast. Eventually, I will get it back to real time. I promise you. We do appreciate the numbers we put up on there, even without being in real time. But please follow our podcast. Please we appreciate the likes on the videos and whatnot and everything. We've been doing really well on our movie reviews this week. Cyber's moderating which I think is going to be very interesting, a sort of dichotomy, not even a movie review, but a sort of a comparison review where we're going to do the Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp along with the Kurt Russell Tombstone. And Cyber's going to kind of flush out over the course of his outline and over the review the strengths and weaknesses of the two films, right? The differences, the contrasts, the comparisons, the story, the cinematography, the writing. We're going to talk about the characters, the different actors and actresses that play similar characters, how they did, which ones stood out, which ones didn't. Obviously, we all know Val Kilmer killed it. As Doc Holliday, that's already said and done. But then I suppose we're probably going to finish off, right? Cyber with just basically our picks on, what we like out of the two and then why, what that supports it. Have a feeling we're going to all end up liking Tombstone probably, but that's going to be my guess right now. But we killed it on Inception. Thank you very much to all of you who supported us on that one. That's our first ever 1,000 like live stream show we've ever had in history. So, I was blown away by that shit. I really was. I told Cyber too. I said, Cyber, I think we're gonna hit 1,000K. And the next day I looked down there and there we were, 1K. I was like, damn. Hey, appreciate you folks. Either way, Cyberneticshark, sir. Before we get into the review, do you have anything to say?
No, sir. Just looking forward to talking about this film.
Excellent. Well, of course, I will pull up the Wonder Woman trailer. We'll play it in a little bit, which I've never seen before, so that actually will probably be pretty interesting. They're usually pretty short. Yeah, see, it is right here, right now. It's pretty short. Of course, they also have the IGN one. That's the commemorative edition trailer. So we'll play that one too. But yeah, overall, a great film. What did you think? I mean, Cyber, had you seen this one before?
Ago, I had gone kind of on a watching of the DC animated films. Like I had just started watching them finally because I hadn't actually watched many of them. So I do believe I watched this one before because Ares looked very familiar to me, his design and his look and his voice. So I do believe I watched this one other time before, a couple years ago. And I remember just thinking, this is interesting. And overall thinking, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too shabby. I mean, the whole Olympus women thing kind of annoyed me at first until finally Steve really has his moment towards the end of the film. He finally straightens her out. I'm like, oh, thank God.
That's what it says in my outline too. Steve straightens her out finally.
Yeah, so it kind of is a little annoying at first, but then once Steve does that, you're like, okay, this is pretty good. And the action sequences are pretty decent in this, and I think overall it's just really done well. And I think overall a pretty decent addition to the DC animated universe.
No, I mean honestly, it's so compact too, 73 minutes, right? I mean, geez, and like I didn't see how long the credits were, but they couldn't have been long because it felt like they used that whole 73 minutes basically for movie. I don't think there was.
Yep.
You froze right there, Cyber. That's what I was talking about. Just for a second, you just glitched. That's all it was. And you don't usually have that problem. It's the reason I'm bringing it up. Usually you're straight. I'm not seeing anything on my end Wi-Fi wise for once. So just wait. The curse of where I'm not going to use her name may suddenly pop up all of a sudden, and now my shit might start getting fucked up too. So who knows? That's how it usually happens, folks. It spreads. It's like a sickness. The curse of she who remains, as I now call her, she who remains. Now, of course, we have a wonderful what a surprise, Nathan Fillion is Steve Trevor. We've got Alfred Molina as Ares. Rosario Dawson, once again, as Artemis, who I thought had a great secondary character, role in the film and whatnot. Really, I was suspicious of her at first. You know what I mean? But then I realized that she actually was a good guy or whatever, whatnot. I thought for a minute that she was the one that was going to be the one that maybe was crushing on Ares or whatever, right? Of course I was wrong, which was good because I liked her. I didn't want her to be bad. You know what I mean? This is why I don't usually keep my actual cell phone in my pocket during shows, because it is just people just blow me up, man. I have notifications up the ass. I'm turning this shit off. That's right, Cyber. You know what? And folks out there, I actually am doing one of those, crazy deals where I actually now turn my cell phone off for certain portions of the day completely, and that's it. I just turn it off, and there's no cell phone. Isn't it wonderful? It's amazing. See, I so often don't turn it off that I don't even know how to do it. Oh, there we go. Anyways, so no, I had never seen it before. I'd never seen a Wonder Woman. The only thing Wonder Woman I'd never seen would be the Snyder Cut, because I still have not seen the other Justice League film, the shitty one, even though I own it. Someday I'll watch it. I will. Maybe we'll review it just for shits and giggles, for fun. We can make fun of it. Right? This is Mystery Science Theater 3000 type deal. Whenever we're able to advance our technology to where we know how to do that kind of stuff and put ourselves in front of the movie and all that kind of crap, that's where we're gonna have to go in that Patreon territory, Cyber. Right, that's at that point, that's where we have to go with that. That's the only way we can get away with it, because of the copyright issues and whatnot. But anyways, I'm using my external speakers here because I'm actually recording this for our own individual promotion and sales and and advertising and whatnot. Using my brand new Canon R10, baby. Loving it. Thank you, Canon. Thank you to StreamYard. Appreciate you. Thank you to ChatGDP. Thank you very much. But also, like I said, I'd seen the first Wonder Woman film with Gal Gadot. Thought it was great. Really good film. It wasn't the best thing ever, but it was good. I found it positive. I did. I liked it. I like Gal Gadot, and I like the actor that played Steve or Trevor. I'm sorry. No, Steve Trevor. I apologize. My bad. I'm getting it twisted. I like that actor. Chris Pine that plays Kirk in the what I guess is the what is done now, that Snyder Star Trek sort of trilogy, whatever he was going on or whatever. I'm pretty much sure that they decided to kill that off. I think.
No, they're still working on a fourth film.
Oh, they are going to do it.
Yeah, they're just trying. They're just waiting to get the head to go to do it. But yeah, just a couple last year sometime, they were saying they're working on getting it done.
Yeah, I wonder if Chris Hemsworth is still attached to it and whatnot. The last I heard, I guess he wanted out. I think it's at one point, or he wasn't happy with the process or something like that. I guess being Thor in the MCU, but then after Love and Thunder, maybe he'll reconsider. Right? But no,
Totally.
Yeah, for real, right? That would make any actor reconsider things a little bit with their options and whatnot. I would think that would kind of take away from their weight when it comes to the negotiation weight. You know what I mean? What do you call it? No, what do you call it? But no, you're but so either way, no, I had no concept with what to expect from the movie. I didn't. I had no idea what it would be like. I love Wonder Woman. I do. Hey, what's up, Andres? How you doing, brother?
Fine.
There he is. What's wrong,
Sorry
brother?
about that.
It's all right, brother. Hey, sometimes jerking off takes a long time.
Yeah. My computer was awful, so I had to restart it and all that crap. You got my message?
No, man. Cyber will tell you I turned my phone off. I was like, I can't be having all this. No, I just figured you'd come on, man. I know you, brother.
All right.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't, man. I had to start the live, so right. That's all. You're good, man. Hey, if you're busy, man, or whatever, and whatnot, you can drop. If you know something
No,
going
no.
on.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
I was just trying. I was finishing a project, and then I was trying to enter in the StreamYard, but my computer was the internet was slowing down for some reason. So
Oh, okay, I see. No, I saw that you said you were finishing up a project, but
yeah.
I didn't know you were having trouble with the StreamYard.
Is it,
Are, are you going through Google Chrome?
I'm using Firefox. So
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's your problem right there. You got to go through Google Chrome to go into StreamYard. You can't use Firefox.
no, it doesn't work in Google Chrome, or it it doesn't work on Sapphire and all that. So no,
No, you got to.
I don't use Google Chrome. It's like why not?
No,
Firefox is good.
no. StreamYard actually, they say flat out that you have to use Google Chrome to use it. Flat out, it's in the settings, and whatnot, and everything. It says use Google Chrome to use StreamYard. Not don't use Firefox or like use Safari. So that's where I got it from. I'm not making it up. I swear. People who use Safari or Firefox don't get on
Yeah,
until they go on
well,
Google.
it depends what the streamer does. It's fine in my Firefox. It has to be a like an upgraded one.
Okay. Either way, just like just like the upgraded Wonder Woman animated film that we're about to review here right now, which was amazing. And as I was saying, in my first time, us actually, my first time watching it, having no impression going in at all, I found it to just be overall from like start to finish, just almost like if you did a live action film version of this story the right way, uh, it would be exceptional. I mean, it would literally be outstanding because the story just never skips a beat. The characters are all great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I was just listing who voices some of these actors, these characters, and you got Rosario Dawson in here, right? As Artemis, who I already mentioned I love. You've got Marge Helgenberger, who I haven't heard in forever, as Hera, right? I haven't thought about Marge in forever. Kerry Russell as Diana. Gotta love you some Kerry Russell, baby.
Yeah,
Right? She had
Afro
that good ass
Marina,
hair. She had that good ass hair in the '90s. You
Afro
got
Belina.
Alfred Molina. Yeah, you got John DiMaggio once again as Demos.
Yep.
And then from there, I don't really see him. But Tara Strong as Alexa. We know Tara Strong. Miss Minutes.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Loki. There you go. And she'll be back for Loki season 2 too.
First off, she's a DC alumni. She has been a voice of Batgirl, and of course, she plays the recent Harley Quinn in the Arkham games. So she's a big DC alumni.
Oh, good. No, I didn't know that.
Yep.
No, you gotta remember, man. I'm coming, Andres. I'm hitting these as I'm going, man. I'm just trying to get familiar with who I know. I already noticed that Nathan Fillion seems to be in all these almost, or like at least he does the voice of Steve Trevor. I noticed that.
Yeah. He's gonna voice, I think, Hal in the next DC animation movie, Green Lantern First Flight, I think.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't surprise me. I think that he has a relationship with what's his name?
Jeff Johns, I think.
No,
Or
actually,
someone else.
no. What's his name? That runs DC Films now. Um, God, why am I?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah, I think him and James Gunn actually have a relationship. Yeah, but so really quick before we get into like the intro scene and whatnot and everything, Andre, since you just came on, obviously you saw Wonder Woman probably way back when it first came out.
Yeah, I just rewatched it today.
How long had it been?
I mean, it. I just saw bits of the first movie. Uh, this today I saw the movie full on, and yeah, I think the movie was really great. The opening was like not what I expected. I mean, this movie is based on the 1980s George Perez run of Wonder Woman. If you read that comic, it's heavily
It is.
inspired.
Yes. Yeah. It's based off of the George Perez run, which was basically called what?
Mortals, it's called.
It was called. It was a reboot. And it was called Gods and Mortals. That was the name of the arc. The character's second volume in 1987.
Yes. Yeah, Gods and Mortals. Yep. Yeah, I forgot about the Gods part.
Oh, go ahead, finish.
No, no. Yeah. So it's based on that, and yeah. I mean, for because Wonder Woman hasn't had like a lot of medium exposure. Like some of the DC characters, like Batman and Superman, and so I think that for this her being her first like solo animation film, it does a good job of executing her origin story and like getting you into her mythos and the Greek mythology very well. You know, I I s- I love the 2017 film. I think that's a overall better film, but there's a lot of aspects that I like this movie. I mean, Ares is really great in this movie. Like, I feel like this movie does a better job of doing Ares than the 2017 film.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and that's actually a great contrast. And I'm glad that you brought that up. Is that there is that blend, right, Cyber, where you can see that they did draw a lot of inspiration from this story, and I think this comic book story arc, right, from George Perez. I think within that first Wonder Woman film, and maybe that's possibly why Wonder Woman 1984 fell off so badly, right? Maybe that could have something to do with it in a way. I mean, I wouldn't know. I didn't see it. You guys did. I didn't watch it. I just heard it was so fucking bad that I was like, I don't know if I really want to tackle this one. But I'm just wondering if maybe has something to do with that. Is that they didn't base it off of something that was already solid that people knew as being good.
Uh, it depends. I like all super movies are not based on comic book runs. Like, I mean, Winter Soldier from MCU is not based on the Ed Brubaker run. They just borrow elements, but it's not a direct adaptation. The problem with 84, I seen that movie twice in theaters. I don't know why. Um, it its main problem was it was too ambitious on this like thematic theme they were trying to do with this lighter tone, and they just went too goofy. And you have Jeff Johns who like haven't written a Wonder Woman book. I mean, Jeff Johns just wrote Flash, Green Lantern, and bits of Superman, Batman. So I don't understand why Jenkins couldn't get a writer from Wonder Woman like Gail Simone for this movie, or George Perez.
Well, either way, I just wanted to just kind of delve into that just momentarily. But basically, bottom line, no, I think we're all aware that Captain America: Winter Soldier is not directly from the comic book, and I'm not at all trying to say that this storyline from this film is directly from the comic. It's not, or from this animated film. But there are a lot of inspirations. You can see a lot of the same similarities in how they handled the characters and whatnot in the storyline off this movie. In the Wonder Woman live action film, it's obvious. Just not as well done, right? Especially with Ares, man. Holy shit. The Ares in this movie compared to the one in freaking Wonder Woman. Holy crap. So, Cyber, opening scene, right? Now, you mentioned earlier the action scenes are just great. They're very fluid, right? I think that they did a really great job right off the bat in servicing a proper origin story for Wonder Woman and the Amazons, right, as a whole, while also connecting them and tying them into the gods, the DC old gods and everything and whatnot, right, and having them be a part of the film right off the bat too. And we go right into battle, and pretty much any time you go right into battle with something, it's usually pretty damn good. And from my perspective, you really can't go wrong usually in that direction. Although it's happened, but they do really well with this. And basically, what we end up having right off the bat is we have a battle where it's essentially, the old gods and, I believe Ares and Zeus is involved. And essentially, the outcome of the battle ends up being one where, due to the Amazons battling Ares, Amazon's queen, I believe you pronounce her name Hippolyta, beheads Ares soldier Thrax, whom the god forcibly conceived with her. So like she actually had a thing with him, with Ares. she's about to kill Ares when Zeus stops her, and instead Ares is bound with these magical bracelets, very similar to like the ones that Diana wears, almost kind of a silver color or whatever and whatnot, that restrict his ability to spread evil or like spread corruption and chaos and whatnot, like he's able to, and manipulate others and whatnot and all that, and his overall powers. And at that point, to compensate the Amazons almost, they're given Themyscira, the island, where they can remain eternally youthful and isolated from men. And they can hold also, as a part of the negotiation or deal or the compact, they can hold Ares prisoner, I guess almost as proof to them. Like, hey, we're giving you this piece of shit man as a prisoner. Have at it. And I guess also to kind of remind them, which, I don't know if I kind of like it, some of it, but like, how the evilness of man or whatever, which is a trope that you hear played out several times. So, essentially, she's also granted a daughter, who is Diana, who she just like creates from sand and shit. She just, she sprinkles some crack and some, vibranium on some sand, and bam, we have birth. And Diana's born from a combination of crack and and vibranium, right? And there you go. No men, no male involved. Kind of similar to that scene in Wakanda Forever, Cyrus. I thought that. Remember, I told you what I thought was going to happen.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, they're going to create the magical birth. But so essentially, so that they drop the whole kind of like origin story, not necessarily of whole Diana as a whole, but of the Amazonian race, why they're there, and all that stuff they didn't do in the real live action film. So Cyber, what's your take on that whole scene? What did you enjoy the old gods finally participating in the DC animated universe?
Yes, I enjoyed very much gods. I thought that was fun. I thought the beginning fight sequence. Whoa, I am frozen over here on my side.
Oh yeah, man, you're freezing and shit. You're in robot mode.
There we go. I think it's a really great kind of beginning action sequence. You can definitely, it's very much getting to see the, Amazons kind of in their natural habitat before they end up going to, the island that is created just for them. You get to see them kind of like in their primordial state before they become that crazy island women that don't have any men. And, so it was really cool. I thought that the action was done so well and really well drawn. And you could see all how well they like choreographed it, even in just the artwork. And so that was really done well. And I mean, when Hippo, I like to call her Hippo.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I call her Hippo. When she slices off Ares' son's head, man, you're just like, holy crap, they're really getting deep in this.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very like action packed, like, hard PG-13 for this animated film. I mean, even how all the Amazons are drawn and stuff like that, I feel is very adultish. And so I think that, they really went to really make it appealing to all generations, to all types of age groups. And you could really see that when what they put into this, and it just was really well done, that whole beginning sequence there. And you get that really great kind of feeling of who Ares is too. And this is kind of funny. I absolutely love Alfred Molina. I think he has a fantastic voice. I think he's great. But I totally like, I didn't think that was Alfred Molina's voice as Ares. I totally forgot the whole time I was watching it that was Alfred Molina, because he didn't sound like Alfred Molina to me.
I was like, Alfred Molina, where's Alfred Molina did this? Yeah,
so it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, that's right, Ares was Alfred Molina. Like, why didn't I recognize his awesome voice? But I thought he still did a great job, and I love that he put a whole new twist on how he voiced the character. And you really got a sense of that in that beginning sequence there when he's like, battling the new gods and stuff like that. And I just thought it was a really great opening and a really great start to this, animated film that, it's funny. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, I thought it was okay, but definitely watching the second time, I'm appreciating it a lot more and enjoyed it a lot more this second time around.
Oh, see, now I love to hear that. I know you do too, Andres. I love hearing that. I really do. That it's really cool to have that contrast. I watched it the first time and I loved it. Like you weren't here, Andres. I already said that I think it's the best out of the 4 animated films we reviewed. I think it's the best one. It's better than the Batman one we did last time. I forgot the title of it, whatnot. It was really good. But I think
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, this is better than Gotham Knights. I'm sorry, it really is. Just from start to finish, there's no flaws in it. I didn't see any really. And as far as Molina, I think all he did is he changed his dialect, the way he normally delivers his dialect, but he speaks. He slowed it down and took away a little bit of his accent, right? And went more of like an American accent. And then he just added a little bit more oomph, a little bit more like growl, like a little bit more toughness, steel to his voice. And I think that's all he really did to kind of, just to kind of make it sound rougher, right? Because you don't detect that same accent, that European accent that he has usually in the film, which makes sense because the gods don't have accents like that. They don't. They have like that natural speak, like that good English. But Andres, your take on that opening scene, sir? Anything that maybe I didn't mention or anything like that? Not that you think would be helpful to point out?
No, for me, for the opening, as I got into the got into this review, I was comparing it to the 2017 film, and one of the aspects that I actually liked the opening over the 2017 film was the just expanding the supporting characters of the Amazons, because that's something I have a big problem with the 2 live action Wonder Woman films. Like, it was great to see Artemis, the other sister, what's her name? Sorry about this. Harry, the redhead as the bookworm. I think one of the things that this movie got right was just expanding on the Amazon sisters, and I really liked that. I like the mother, Hippolyta. She was great in this movie. I think they did a really good job of expanding her character more than the live action films did. I mean, in the opening, this did something also was Ares, like making Ares as a threat throughout the film. Like, this movie did such a clear and just um, instructive way of what Ares is, what was his goal, and like he has a beef with the mother Hippopia because he killed the son. So when he goes up to Diane, there's like a history between Ares and Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman's mom slept with Ares, and so that's like a cool juxtaposition, because the mistake that the 2017 film did was to hide Ares, and uh like what was it, like trying to show that like Ares did not exist, that he did die, but towards the end of that movie is like, oh, Ares is alive, he's full of grief. And I never get why did they went with that direction. Here I like it was straightforward. Ares is the main bad guy, and he's very bad. Like, he kills, like he just kills the Amazons like so quickly, and he's like so super powerful, and that's the one thing I like about this opening. Like, it did such a good job of setting up the Amazons as great warriors, but also making Ares as a great threat.
Well, they had to like sort of nullify that in the live action, because he had to have more of a subservient like background kind of role, kind of like deal to facilitate the story with her being incorporated into World War II. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot, and everything, and all that being the premise and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way it would have worked. You know what I mean? Like, I think personally, if they had to do it that way, with him sort of in the background and using lackeys and whatnot and all that, instead of showing his full abilities, right?
Yeah. No,
But
no,
then
no.
again, you could be wrong.
Yeah. Just the first one is based in World War One. The first Wonder Woman. And
Oh, World War One. I'm sorry.
yeah. I just want to mention that. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I don't know. We'll get through the movie. Like, this movie has a message about how all man is not all bad. Like, for Wonder Woman discovering that. I think that the 2017 film did it better, but I didn't like how street like I don't know. I didn't like how they used Ares in the conversation. So that was always my big problem with the villain in the first film.
See, I don't agree with you. I don't think that they did anywhere near as good a job. That's what I love about this film so much, is that they did like them at the end. The Amazons embraced the fact that they are women. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking the live action movie, not this movie. I like this.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought you were saying that they emphasized that more, like in the other one. I was like, oh shit, no way. Like, no.
Yeah, because remember, because Trevor didn't believe Diane that Ares is real, and then that's like the whole conversation throughout the movie. But when Ares pops up, it proves Diane was right. And I never liked that in the live action film.
And I don't want to skip ahead too far and whatnot and everything, but I do like to go off my outline, as everyone knows, especially Cyber, just to kind of make things interesting. So I don't mind kind of going ahead a little bit. One of the premises that I think is great, and they flushed this out so well with the story, as Cyber mentioned, like when there is the scene where Steve Trevor finally fucking decides, you know what, like even though he's a philanderer, he does respect, he is polite with women. You know what I'm saying and whatnot, and he doesn't want to like talk shit to her or like confront her and whatnot. You can tell, but he finally does just like let loose on her. You know what I mean and whatnot and everything, and like when she calls him out for saving her life, whatnot and everything and all that, and like puts her in her place, and her reaction is great. It really is, because it sinks into her, right? That like she's learning from him, right? She's learning the goodness of man through him. Like they do a better job of providing that vehicle with his character to her by having him more sexual, and like by dropping that fucking nice rack line when he's got the lasso on him and whatnot and everything right in front of her and shit. Talk about fucking cracking me up, dude. I was like, are you fucking joking?
Or in the invisible plane where he was expressing the reason why he's a womanizer, and he didn't notice that his foot was on the lasso of truth.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. She's funny in this. Like, she learns humor. Like, she starts to learn. Like, either way, right off the intro, we go right into, basically, I guess you could say, I'd have no way to be able to give you an idea of the time jump, because the way that Diane is conceived is not typical of like anything normal. So like at that point, I'm not sure what age she really is, but she's young for an Amazonian. She's young and considered inexperienced, I believe. It's not just that the queen like is trying to protect her when like she kind of like holds her back at times. It's because she is inexperienced and young compared to other older Amazonians, right? So like Artemis, for instance, right, is of higher rank, or like higher, like not rank, but like of a higher like experience level. Obviously, Diana is the princess, right? If I'm correct. So now essentially when we actually visit the everyday life of the Amazons on the island, we start right off with like a scene reminiscent to Willow Cyber, where it's like it's Kit again and Jade, except it's actually done well, right? And like it makes sense and it's logical and everything and whatnot. It's not a joke. They're like fighting and whatnot and everything, right? And they're like jesting and talking shit, and then like at the same time though, like Diana serves it up on her ass real quick. Like she doesn't like fake it or like fake get like beat up or whatever and whatnot. She like she like straight beats her ass. That's what I've got to give her them credit with this too. You believe Diana as Wonder Woman beating dudes up. When she's beating dudes up in this movie, it looks legit. You expect her to beat dudes up. Like you're like, okay, it's Wonder Woman, but she's gonna smash that dude. So of course she was gonna beat Steve's ass when they squared off. He held his own. You know what I'm saying? Like he did. Like he fought. Of course, she knocked his ass out. She's Wonder Woman, man. It's believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so either way, you know, right off the bat, they express through dialogue, Artemis and Diana, that Diana has not a wild side, maybe a wild side for this Amazonian, but she has a desire to explore. She already feels contained within the island, and expresses that you know, that she's covered every inch of it already. You know what I mean, and whatnot, and everything. And it's obvious that she yearns to leave the island. She wants to participate in the outside world. It's not men, I think, necessarily that she's concerned about. It's just wanting to explore in her youth, right? And that's a part of her character. The man part just comes along with it, I think. But at that point, you know, the queen, you know, feels it necessary to make it clear to her what the real evil root is of men by like having her and taking her to go see Ares locked up, right? And he's just a straight brute, like he's a complete asshole, you know. So in a way, they're almost like cursed to hate men when they've got this dude here hanging out and whatnot who's just a piece of garbage. That's all they've got to work with to like show other the other Amazonians, right? Is like this dude. So basically at that point, they are just like in the live action film, they're shielded, right? Like they're hidden from the rest of the world. Nobody knows they exist. Right? Like I don't know how exactly it works. I think it's magical. But basically, you know, I believe that I don't know how Steve ends up crash landing on there, but I thought that you couldn't penetrate around the island, that you weren't able to get in.
I think it was a setup. I rewatched it again. This time around, I noticed. I think the Ares lady, the female villain that we have in this movie, she the one that
the one that's in love with him and frees him.
Yeah, I think she was the one that like broke the shields off for him to come into this land, so that there's a distraction for Ares to escape properly. So, and then mentioning about the Paradise Island, it's always magic that like covers the island. It's granted by the gods. It's
That's right. There is no technology there. That's right.
Yeah. So but it varies differently in the movies and the televisions show. How powerful the shield is. How like the Parasite Island is kind of hidden from the man's world. You know.
No, I was just going to say that it is actually, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it is actually is it? I'm trying to explain her name. The young woman who, the Amazonian who kills the guard and frees Ares is actually Pheromones.
Yes. Yeah. First phone is her name, I think. Yeah, these names are very difficult to pronounce. So.
Anyways, either way, no, it's I had it there for a minute, then I lost it. It's come on, Cyber, where you at on this one, bruh? You should already stepped in. Oh, okay, here it is. It's
Persephone, that's her name.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Persephone. Yeah, I just yeah.
Okay, there you go. So she is the one that frees him. But
yeah,
either way, that happens after Steve Trevor actually like landing on the island. We get introduced to Steve Trevor in like a dogfight. Now I'm not sure. Do they display what time period this is? This isn't during like a world war or anything like that and whatnot. This is just like a routine.
No.
Like, scouting mission. I think they're out as pilots and whatnot and everything. There is no actual like war going on.
No. This version is modern compared to other Wonder Woman movies.
Well, yeah, so we just get like a straight dogfight, and right from jump, Steve Trevor's like talking shit. He's flirting with this fucking like freshman pilot and whatnot, trying to hit it, from Jump and whatnot and everything, right? Like the other pilots like warning her. He's like, just so you know, like Steve's the kind of guy that women like warn their daughters about. You know what I mean? Just to be clear. So they have a dogfight. Somehow, I don't believe they have a dome, but the magic creates an ability to where they're almost invisible. And that's how it is that nobody actually ever goes there. I think or ends up there. Or there is something you think, Andres, that actually there's some kind of dome or something like that? Energy shield?
Yeah, it was definitely a dorm because other Paradise Islands are like literally islands, and so
I got you.
this in this animation movie is this island was like floating, like sort of like the Elliptical City from Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, and also that is directly from the George Perez run. So I think they took more of that direction for Paradise Island.
Okay. Well, either
floating
way,
city.
the dogfight gets lost. Steve's the only pilot that survives. He crash lands on the the actual island itself on the Themyscira, and right the minute he gets there, after he sees like a couple of like scantily clad women and whatnot and everything, and is like all turned on and shit from Jump because he's such a horn dog, dude, in this movie. Like all he thinks about is getting laid constantly, getting laid or fighting. But like from Jump, like he's getting pursued by Amazonians. Diana catches him, right? And he's like flirting with her from Jump. And then she beats his ass. After he handles his business against her. Like he puts up a fight, but she just straight decks him and just like sends him flying, knocks him the hell out. And at that point, right from there, essentially the queen uses the lasso of truth to basically, I guess you could almost say, interrogate him in a very gentle way, which is really kind of cool in a way that they're able to use that tool like that. They don't have to hurt anyone or torture anyone and whatnot. They can just use the lasso, right? And she's able to determine very quickly, even though he says some really funny ass shit first, that he is well intentioned, right? And he's not lying about anything. He is just a U.S. helicopter. They don't know what crap means. Right? He says crap, and they're like, we don't know what that term means or whatever, whatnot, and everything. And he's like, oh, it's fucking feces. It means it's just like, it's a term for feces or whatever. And of course, the queen immediately jumps in and she's like, you see, Diana, these evil men, the shit that they talk about using this foul stuff or whatever. And, she basically says that, he's a good dude, and the proper thing to do is to get him back home, and that means they're going to have to kind of like break their shit and like actually go, participate in the outside world again and send an emissary. And in order to do that, they're going to have a contest and pick a champion or whatever, whatnot, to be that Amazonian to go ahead and take on that quest. And she, of course, immediately denies Diana from entry. So Andres and then you, Cyber, what'd you think of all that and everything and whatnot? What'd you think of the introduction of this version of Trevor into the movie and whatnot and everything? Is he not funny as hell? Is it not funny as hell, the timing of him literally staring at Diana and being like, what's he say? Damn, she's got a nice rack.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably be the outlier in this review. I liked David Fillion's performance as Trevor in this film, but I wasn't fun with the whole chick magnet thing, womanizer Trevor. But at least they were making a point about it in the film, so I at least it wasn't gratuitous. But still, I prefer more of the Chris Pine, like Lyndon Carter version of Steve Trevor, more like, a very like respectable man, and like he like he is for himself, and he's a very caring leader, but it's a different version.
Trevor does care about people and everything and whatnot. He's very like sad and whatnot when his teammates get killed in the dogfight and all that shit and whatnot, everything. He does care about women. He says right there, what did you mention and whatnot, why he does what he does.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, I know. I guess one of my issues is like the way this movie like just hammers so much of the like the gender the roles, the sexisms, all that. It handles well, but then there's some parts they don't handle it well. So I just don't think this movie like it feels so much like 2009, like pandering to the audience about these themes of feminism and all that. And I think the 2017 film did a better job of handling those kind of themes.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna be in the oddball in this one, man. Because I'll tell you right now, me and Cyber are totally. I already know we're totally like copacetic on the fact that this movie is not woke at all. This movie is not woke in any way, shape, or form, and you'd never be able to even be able to make this movie now. This movie would not be able to be made right now. Well, you could not make this movie. Cyber, am I right? This will not play in 2023. There would nobody. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a movie that would not be considered copacetic for the changes in times.
No, Andres, you got it totally opposite, man. You got it flipped, bro. Like, this would not even work now. No one would touch this.
Wow.
They would not make this now. So, like, you're got the opposite, man. What you're saying is is essentially addressing what you're defining is exactly what the first Wonder Woman was like.
Well,
like,
I don't think the first one was woke. Like it, like compared to like Captain Marvel, like it did a way better job of handling its themes and all that better. And also like it felt like a proper like superhero film. Like it had class. Like it felt like a Superman movie that Man of Steel wasn't. And like that's the reason I like about that 2017 film. And like nothing beats the No Man's Land scene, like that I love so much. And like like her line, I will fight for them, like she was going there to fight for everyone, no matter it was called No Man's Land. I but at the same time I still like this movie. I think I'm not saying it doesn't handle it right. It's just I think they could done maybe a little differently in the dialogue. That's all I'm saying. And then, and one thing I do appreciate about Trevor here, like, something I don't like sometimes in Wonder Woman is the time period. So I like it's in modern, so we can, make Trevor be like not stupid and like he's aware what's going on and, yeah, thank you, Steph. And like, because I, I I I think what makes this version work is that he's part of the argument of like proving hip hop to Ron that all men is not bad, and I think the good part about this version of Trevor. And I like how the way we use the lasso here, like it's similar to the 2017 film how Trevor also was put in in interrogation as well in the live action movie, and both versions are being used in the lasso of truth, and it's so funny. So but yeah, I think everything. Oh, last thing, the contest for the champions, that's directly from the comics. That's something that the 2017 film didn't do. I actually liked this movie did that because it explains why Wonder Woman wears her costume. Like it represent.
Brother, you're skipping me, man. That was going right next to that. That was going to be the next thing I was going to mention.
All right. Well,
you're stepping on my bitch.
Well, I have powers. I'm Professor X.
If we were dancing right now and everything and whatnot, you would be standing on my feet. And we can't be having that, bro.
Hey Jeff, right? Can I tell you something? A secret? I'm your brother for real, and that's how I know.
Hey, at least you're not that guy that told me that he was my daughter, my mother, my brother, my killer, fucking my pet. Remember that? I remember Cyber. I told you about that guy.
What?
Remember that guy?
No, I don't know.
He was gonna guest on the show. Yeah, he told me on the phone and everything. He was like, "I'm your father." He had done one of those fucking deals from down here in Southwest Florida where you go and take that Mayaska shit or whatever. Mayaska, where you like fucking trip for 2 days or whatnot. And it like changed him and shit or whatever he said. And so now he no longer was like an actual person. He was like an entity. Like he was like my father, my son, my killer, my daughter, me, you, like, fucking Steve, Trevor, right? Wonder Woman, everybody. The fucking the butt faced fucking animal from Shang-Chi, everybody. So I asked him, I'm like, okay, well, when we do the fucking show, what do I call you, man? I mean, do you have a fucking name? Like, just something here, bro. What do I mean, am I supposed to explain all that? Anyways, no, Andres, you are my brother, man. But Cyber, in reflection to Andre's comments, if you have anything in response, go ahead. And then your thoughts on the scene as well.
All right. So the introduction of Steve, and kind of like that, like little bit in between time there, where we're getting used to the Amazons living in their new habitat, and them, being closed off in the world, was an interesting portion of the film. I think that it gave you a really good sense of, what happened with the Amazons, kind of why they think the way they do, and kind of gives you a really good idea of, what would happen to some people if, they were closed off in the rest of the world as well. So I think that was a really good way of showing that. It was very accurate, I feel, if, an island that was full of just nothing but women, how they would kind of end up thinking. And I think that was good writing. I think that really, that is very plausible. And then, of course, the whole action sequence there where it shows, Steve Trevor fighting the combatants and his plane going down, I thought was really visually fun. I really liked the look of it and how they did it. You could definitely see that they were using some of the CGI to do the animation there a little bit and stuff like that. And him actually, crashing and everything and coming down and then fighting with Diana, which was really fun because you could tell he was definitely like kind of like, this is fun having you chase me kind of deal, type of, how he's such a ladies' man. And so that was like fun and playful. And then when she finally grabs him with the lasso and stuff and knocks him out, which was really cool. Like that upper deck, which is really awesome. I absolutely loved it. He's like out like a light, and he wakes up to them, and they put the lasso of truth on him, and he starts telling all the truths and stuff like that. Was absolutely freaking hilarious. Especially because he's trying so hard not to say anything, but he keeps saying things. Very similar to how Chris Pine's version of Steve Trevor in the 2017 film was. It was very similar to that. It was very comical. And at that one point, he just basically flat out, says, wow, look at how hot a Wonder Woman is and stuff like that, basically, and stuff like that, which was really funny. And it was very much played very well, I thought. I thought that it was exactly how a situation like that would occur. And I thought that in animation form, it was done just as good as a live action film would have done. It was really well done. And I was really surprised because, like I said, the first time I watched this, my thoughts, were very different. And then after watching it again and kind of processing it, I was like, wow, that was actually really done well. And so I really have come to appreciate this movie more. And this whole sequence was just another great addition to it. And I know that's what you said, Jeffrey. And so it was really well done, really well executed, and a great kind of introduction to Steve. Steve bringing her back afterwards. So I think that was a really well done little section of the film.
No, I do. And I think that, Andres, I just want to make it clear. I do think I understand where you're coming from earlier and whatnot and everything. Hey, let's be honest, man. When you're doing these live stream reviews, right, which, let's be honest, not many other creators do this to begin with. Like, how the only reason we're even doing this is because you got motherfucker like TrueKnowledge over here running the show. So when you got somebody like me calling the shots, you don't know what the fuck, who fucking knows what would happen. I could go send you plane tickets for fucking a vacation to go hang out with your co-host, and the tickets are fucking for the wrong dates. You know what I'm saying? And if not for fucking Cyber pointing that out to me, I probably wouldn't have even realized it. Yeah. So, there you go.
No worries.
I'm not worried about anything, man. I'm joking, just making fun of myself. It's all right.
Well,
I always get it
yeah.
worked out. You know what I mean? But no,
yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I think that what you're just basically saying, and my point simply was when you're doing these live reviews, right? You come right in, you're live, right? Look, there's people on every single platform that we're on right now watching us, right? You know what I'm saying? Why you guys don't talk, I don't fucking know, but you're there. So you're not fake. You're on real platforms. You're not on fucking Rizzle or whatever the fucking they're calling. They're gonna call it now or whatever. Or one of these BeGo Live or one of these other big ass fucking bullshit creator apps and whatnot, right? Where your live stream audience, you somehow in 30 seconds when you go live, there's 1,011 people suddenly in your audience somehow. There you go. Good job. But no, what I'm saying is just that. Look, I only saw this movie one time, right?
Yeah,
you've seen it multiple times, right? And Cyber's seen it, hadn't seen it in a long time. But overall, in general, your point was simply that you felt like some of the flirtatiousness and the over sexuality of Steve's approaches and whatnot and everything was a little bit gratuitous. It didn't have to go to that level, right?
Yeah,
and they could have still served the purpose that was meant to be. Right? Isn't that what you kind of where you?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Luckily, if it wasn't for the hospital scene you brought up earlier, Jeff, how he shut down Dan about it and why he's like the person he is, I feel more comfortable now.
You understand that this is all a part of their love story. It's the fact that he starts off as this oof. You know what I mean? Whatnot and everything, and they learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes their relationship so strong and powerful. It's almost like a Peggy Carter, Steve Rogers type of deal. You know what I mean? Where it's true. It's just a true love. Cyber, you know what I'm talking about? It's just a real, genuine, they changed each other's lives. You know what I'm saying? He's the man that taught her that there were goodness in men. When she'd been raised her entire life being told that there's a reason why they couldn't be around men. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? So and then she changed his heart. Right? You know what I'm saying? And and taught him that he could love someone. And and then of course the lasso exposed his insecurities and shit and whatnot and all that for him.
I love that. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Right? So at that point, if he doesn't act like that, it doesn't flush out that dynamic in their relationship as well, I think. Or service it. Cyber, do you feel like Cyber makes a good point that I mentioned too earlier. This movie could have been live action. And if it had been live action, I would have been like, yo, this shit is fucking top notch.
Yeah. And
the writing, everything and whatnot, the script is great.
Yeah, it's really great. This movie is amazing. It's one of the best origin stories I've seen for a superhero character in animation and in general. It's top there. I mean, clearly, I think the 2017 film. Look at this film because there were so many scenes that reminded me of from the 2017 film. Like we mentioned, the Trevor interrogation.
Are you going to double down now on me with Cyber now with reflecting right off of what I started off at the bat with?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And you brought up the Trevor and Dan helping each other and each of them changed. That's directly from the movie too. They did it. They copied from this and really built that to that, and that's been. This movie definitely influenced the 2017 film, and that's one of the reasons. Heavily, yeah. I just wish this movie, I wish the 2017 film, made Ares better, but whatever. I mean, I
actually done the 2017 film like this completely, it would have been fucking awesome. It already was good, but no. So no. What I wanted to basically ask you was, Cyber, do you feel like where would you rank this one so far out of the 4 that we've done that are the ones we reviewed? Where are you at with this one?
I would say it's a good solid 8.
No. I'm saying I told you. I mean, that's good. That's nice to know that now. But and I'll give you my ranking too. But I'm gonna give it a 10. And this is our first ever ranking before the end of the show ranking. But no, what I'm saying is for me, this is out of I've seen other DC animated films. The ones we reviewed, the 4, this is the best one out of the 4 for me.
Oh. Out of the 4, I would put it like 3rd.
Okay, and that's fair. Andres, what do you think, man?
Yeah. As a person, like, you don't mind, like, I like in general how I place this
I know
movie.
you like Batman. I know that. Yeah.
Well, this is 4th place for me. Like, because number 1 is JLA New Frontier, 2nd is Batman Under the Red Hood, and then 3rd, oh my god.
Wait a minute. I'm only talking about the first 4 releases. Batman and the Hood is I think is like the 7th film.
Yeah.
The 8th film.
I just want to throw that out, in my general how I rank this movie in my like DC ranking, and it's 4th place, but I probably put it 3rd if we're just ranking the 4 reviews we've been doing.
Okay.
So it'll be
same as Cyber.
Yeah.
And what would you rate the movie all together? I dropped a 10. Cyber gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Like,
okay. I feel like you really want to give it more. I feel like you wanted to give it a 9.25 or like a 9.5. I think you do.
Yeah. It's just minor things that they could maybe fix, but I think it's definitely a 9 out of 10. Like, beginning to end is strong. It's great.
Well, I'm just trying to get more people to like start doing the 0.25s and the 0.75s to piss Cyber off more. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I don't give a fuck. You know, you could go in a 9. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be the only motherfucker that's always doing 0.75s and 0.25s. I'm starting to feel very isolated.
No.
Kind of like the Amazon chicks over there with no dudes and shit. You think there ain't a lot of fucking like muff on muff action going on over there in fucking in Themyscira or whatever? During all that time? Come on now.
Yeah.
You know what's going on, Cyber?
What?
You know what's going on, Cyber? All the time that all those women that are living on that island, bruh. You know that there's times when like they're going to the caves and shit, whatnot, and like getting after it, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a lot of lesbianism going on in there.
Yeah. Actually, just briefly, I really appreciate this movie making the Amazon characters being supporting characters, and I like how they actually went into deep, like the pros and cons of living in a society of women. You know, because the Cyphron, the woman villain, like the reason she did it is because she will.
That's it right there. That's why.
Yeah, well, she couldn't eat hot dogs in the island. But like she couldn't start a family. Like how she couldn't breed like her own children or like families that she wanted to start. Like she couldn't do that in the island, and like she was completely immortal. So like that was something we don't really discuss at all in the Wonder Woman comics or even in medium in general. So that I appreciate.
Andre, think about this. Can you imagine what the Amazonians do in this area?
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can, and I will.
I'm telling you right now, they probably got all kinds of crazy, like, rock fucking made, like, like shells and shit and whatnot. Who knows what kind of stuff they got going on over there.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine if the Amazons did one of those videos on TikTok? That shit would be dope.
I mean, they would probably show off their like fighting skills in TikTok.
Yeah, okay.
So
anyway,
yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Cyber. I could not help myself with that, but I just thinking about imagining like what these Amazonians are using for sex toys just like really it intrigues me, brother. It does. It's very intellectually, rooted.
Oh, poor Cyber. I feel sorry.
Anyway,
I have no idea what you're talking about because, you guys went muted, like completely muted. I could see you talking, but there was no sound coming from you for like 5 seconds straight, and then all of a sudden it came back. So I don't know what happened.
Oh, I played that dildo video with the chicks with the dildo
No,
with
no,
the water bottles and shit and all that stuff.
Don't.
Oh, that I guess it like screwed up my end because I didn't see it.
You know what? It's your Wi-Fi then. Usually when that happens, it's usually because of Wi-Fi. That's usually what it is. It could be your Wi-Fi. But here, I'm going to go ahead and play one of the Wonder Woman trailers just to kind of change things up. If anybody's got to go to the bathroom. Oh, actually, wait. I'm share screening, so none of that. You can't go to the bathroom. Fuck that.
I mean, we could close our screens and like
Well, yeah,
disappear.
if you want to, go ahead. If you want to isolate yourself just like the Amazonians, go ahead.
There.
Feel free. See how that does, yes. See how that does.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So jealous.
Hey, you know what? Listen, next show, I'm going straight audio. My my avatar is going to be a dildo.
My avatar
That's
is
very
gonna be.
appropriate.
Yeah. My avatar is gonna be Iron Man.
Make sure it's a very skinny one.
Oh yeah. 60s version.
Ooh, you like this shot, Cyber?
It's right above me.
I got the reaction video shit working, man.
Yeah, one thing that's great about this movie, I appreciate we have gods here. Like, I like that we have all the Greek creatures.
There's the undead Amazons.
Yep. I love the Harry's. Harry's, the other Wonder Woman villain, is in this movie, and when we get to like the son of Ares and what Hades is doing with the sun, it's so dark. It's like I can't believe they did that.
I'm gonna have to. I've only actually created a good reaction video template for 2 people. I've got to work on my 3 people game. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think, Cyber? It's good, right? With the video up top like that and everything and whatnot, and you can actually see us.
Yeah, it was cool.
You like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was anything great, but I mean,
it wasn't.
It works.
It wasn't. I've got to keep on working on it. That's just what I came up with so far. Andre's helped me with it a little bit and whatnot. We're gonna get it though, eventually.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna nail it. All right, this is the commemorative edition trailer of Wonder Woman. This is from IGN, and it came out in 5 years ago. A little bit longer, a minute and 30.
May Gaia be with you, Diana.
I want a Wonder Woman t-shirt, man.
All of the world.
I know. Ugh.
Keep on Cyber.
You should you need one that's like of this animation.
Yeah.
Or you can just get a gassed out one.
You will see a lot of blood though.
Yeah. Oh. I think this it's funny. This version doesn't fly. Compared to other versions.
Look! It's Wonder Woman!
Oh, I love this scene. Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah. That was great, Andy. I love Chia. I mean, like, the teaser, like cliffhanger.
Oh, I thought that was Tigra.
No, that's Chia.
Tigra's
That's
for fucking She-Hulk. Or Tigra
No.
She-Hulk.
Since we started using Atera as our all-in-one IT solution,
Is it Tigra from He-Man?
no. Yeah, it's from him.
You're thinking of Thundercats.
Thundercats. That's where
Yeah.
Tiger's from. Okay, Thundercats.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
good show, man. Good show.
Damn best.
No, those are some short trailers, man. I mean, they didn't really they didn't really encompass, like, really display really well. For one thing, you don't even see Trevor in there at all, basically. He's not even in the trailers.
No, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him one time. I think I only saw him once. So basically, from there, I mean, everything basically, like, there's no point in, like, making this real long. I'd rather just let you guys talk. Basically, what we end up happening is we have the contest, as Andres mentioned. Artemis swaps, like, armor with her and gives her. I'm echoing on somebody's end. Andres, turn off mute yourself real quick. Testing. It's on your end. I'm echoing for some reason on your off you. I don't know why. But it's all right. It's not terrible. I've been wondering why it's been happening, but it's something we have to. It has something to do with your audio. It's not bad. It's not horrible. But either way, Artemis, who, as I mentioned, when we first saw her, I actually was suspicious about her a little bit. And then I realized really quickly that she was a good positive character, and I'm glad because I liked her a lot as a secondary character. I thought she was great. Now I can't remember. Is she a sister, or is she a friend of? Go ahead, Andres. You can talk.
So Artemis, Artemis is the one that's fighting with Diana in the beginning, because
No, is she a sister or a friend of Diana's?
both. Like it's
Okay.
like
They're all sisters. They're
yeah, like
Amazonians.
those
I forgot.
sisters. They always convey that in every version.
Okay, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
they don't have. Yeah, they don't have it like that. All right.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
so basically, she gives her. They switch up. She wins the contest, of course, and I thought this was a really cool scene. And at this point, the queen does explain and bestow, the bracelets forged from the fragments of Zeus's, shattered shield, made by Festus himself. The lasso of truth from the goddess Vespia, sent from Mount Olympus, and also the costume, which colors and design are meant to express the goodness and intentions of and peaceful intentions of the Amazonian race, to the rest of the world, right? If I remember correctly from what the queen said, and bestows them upon her. Now, even before she takes her helmet off, I believe she knows it's Diana. I don't think that I think she realizes the whole time it is her, because when she takes off her helmet, she doesn't look surprised. She just immediately flat out says, my daughter, I believe that you are, you will serve well, and you'll accomplish your mission. Now, right then is when our Ares gets freed, because a guard gets killed, of course, by, however you want to, Pharisoni or whatever, kills a guard, frees Ares because she wants some dick, and do the lust and whatnot and everything, and he gets free, and so he bounces, right? And at that point, Diana's mission expands because the queen also tasks her to, vanquish Ares, because, and save mankind in the world, because he's that big of a threat, which they did express also in the live action film. Now at that point, it just really it's just a really fun, sort of segment of the film where, Diana goes with Steve, and, he explains to her that he's helpful to her mission. He has technology and information and can locate, Ares. Right at the bat, they find a pattern of crime waves and, attacks and things going on and whatnot that they know have to do with him. So she sees him as being useful to her mission, while at the same time she's warming up to him also, I think, and trying to kind of learn from him, and is inquisitive of him. Right at the bat, he takes her out to drink and tries to get her drunk and bang her, and she knows it and beats his ass again, basically serves him up and punches him in the face and whatnot, and is like, and I outdrank you too, like you little bitch. Just to be clear, you know what I mean? And that's after she like straight serves up this like office chick that wants to bang Trevor, and like is like calling her weak and everything and whatnot, and asking her why she can't pick up some shit, everything and whatnot, and she needs him to do it and everything and whatnot. I thought that was funny. She sees the child, the little black child. They can't play. And it really did. I won't lie. I thought it was really sweet and everything. When she says to Steve, "I've never seen a child before," right? It like broke. It didn't break my heart, but it like really kind of touched me, like what it must be like to not see a child, you know, your whole life and whatnot, and then all of a sudden to be around children.
Yeah, I love that scene too. It was really touching to see Wonder Woman be like a actual aspire hero, and teaching that girl how to like fight, just like the boys. So like that was
They animated her emotional facial expressions extremely well.
Yes, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Cyber, did they? I mean, you really can tell. Like they really display it very visibly with her facial expressions and whatnot. The way that they widen her eyes a certain way at times, you know what I mean, and whatnot. You can viscerally tell when when there's real emotion and like real change or like an impact occurring for her.
I think it was decent. I don't think it was that good, but definitely I thought they did a good job of representing emotion in the animation itself, most definitely. But I don't think it was like super well done. But yeah, definitely there are moments that they animated some things to look very emotional.
I think it was well done for 29 or 28 whenever they produced it, right? I thought I should have added that.
2009.
Yeah. I think it was pretty good for them. Right? The year that what? Iron Man came out? Or no, or was that 29?
no,
Why are you
28.
saying 29? You mean 2008, 2009? Don't. Why are you saying 29?
I'm
We're
sorry.
in 23. We're in 23.
Oh, whatever.
yeah,
So
Iron Man
anyway,
came out in 2008.
okay, 2008. So yeah, Incredible Hulk came out in 29, right?
no, that came out the same year, 2008.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
So either way, so essentially, you know, after that, they get like threatened by muggers. Diana beats her asses, but an emissary of Ares, who I forget the name of the character, shows up to kill her. Go ahead, Adrian.
That one was hold on, this is Demos. I think that was the name.
Okay,
That was-
yeah, he's a demigod. Yeah.
Demigod. Yep.
Yeah. And basically, Steven, you know, and kind of like thinks it's just another mugger, takes him on, gets his ass beat. Diana ends up killing him. They find a clue from him, sort of like where Ares is going to this like temple or whatever, this Greek temple. And now Ares, of course, still has the bands, right? And so at that point, like, you know, he essentially goes to the temple. He needs to get down to the underworld to go see his uncle Hades to barter to get these damn bracelets off, so he can really like let loose and do what he does. And at that point, Diana shows up. You know, Hades agrees to take off, you know, remove the gauntlets. There has to be a sacrifice as a part of the process to get to the underworld. Diana shows up and actually fights him then before the sacrifice and before Hades. And Ares summons like demons and monsters that almost kill her. And that's when Steve, I believe, jumps in and saves her life. I think is right there. And at that point, you know, essentially Steve doesn't stop Ares, although I don't think he would have been able to anyway. And she wakes up in the hospital. Hades grants him the gauntlets, beginning to grant the gauntlets, and she wakes up in the hospital, and she's all pissed off at Steve. And that's when Steve just straightens her out real quick and whatnot, and everything, like in a good way, in the right way, and just like drops some really profound shit on her, and is like, you need to understand, like, did it ever occur to you that like maybe like to me your life was more important than the rest of the world? Like I can't imagine a world without you in it. You know what I mean, or whatever, or something like that, or whatever, and whatnot. That was just really intense and kind of again really, you know, drove home for her, like, you know, that men have emotions. Men do care about women and whatnot and everything. And she's learning at this point as she's going. And at that point, that's when we get the really cool, like lasso, like sneaky lasso shit and whatnot, where she draws them out and everything. See, that's the kind of humor I wish they didn't have that in the live action. That kind of humor like that, and that's good. It was great. It was really great.
Well, they did that in the Justice League. You remember Aquaman?
Yeah. No, I do. But no. So basically, at that point, we end up with our final battle, right? And the final battle ends up being, essentially Ares attacking Washington D.C. with his army, Diana shows up with Steve, and essentially, there's a battle. They fight. Ares calls up and summons dead Amazonians from the underworld to fight on his side and everything and whatnot. The Amazonians themselves show up, right? To fight, while at the same time, basically the influence, the darkness, the power that Ares has spreads to the president, who all of a sudden is told that they now know or are aware of the island and whatnot and everything, and he actually calls for a nuclear strike on it, right? And so, I'll stop here, and then I'll give you guys a chance to talk off this, and then I'll finish it right up from there, so that you guys get two more chances, kind of there's a bounce off here. I know you have something you want to say. So, but basically, at that point, the battle's kind of a stalemate to some extent. This is where we're at, right? It's kind of like they're going back and forth basically at that point. But Cyber, sir, thoughts?
Thoughts on that? Let's see. So, I mean, you covered quite a bit there.
Yeah. And I did that on purpose. Take as much time on your end as you want. Take as much time as you want.
The whole section, I thought it was okay. I thought it was interesting. There were a few parts I thought were kind of boring. I just feel like it was kind of unnecessary for certain sections. But there was a lot of great action, especially that sequence when Trevor ends up saving Wonder Woman to bring her, to save her from Ares when he first gets his things cut off. I mean, the Hades thing cracked me kind of up. I don't get why they made him so fat. I mean, yeah, he's pleasures himself very much so, eating everything he desires. But I don't get why they made him so fat. I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, that whole section when Trevor first brings Diane back and the whole kid thing and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't hit me emotionally like you did, Jeff. I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of funny because I'm like, you think that, at least these women know that what children were. They at least, explain it in their history what children were. So her not knowing what a child was kind of funny, I thought. And funny kind of how they kept it that way. But yeah, I thought I think one of my favorite parts is that whole section after, Ares goes down to Hades to get his things removed. He has that great conversation with his uncle. And just how he looked, he was very blobbish and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't care for it. I thought it looked stupid. I'm like, this is not what Hades looks like to me. I feel Hades, whenever you see Hades in anything, from live action films to other animated films and stuff like that, he's always been a very domineering force. He always looks really posing. This guy looks like a couch potato that you could beat up with your foot while sitting down. I mean, this guy did not look scary at all. So I was like really disappointed with that. But I still thought he was really funny because just like kind of how he presented himself and saying to Ares, oh, well, this person said I shouldn't help you, but because I am Hades, I'm going to help you. That still was kind of done well. I thought that the voice presentation, everything was done well. But just the look I thought was really stupid. But getting into that fight sequence where, Hades Ares starts to fight and battle with Diane after they get there. And they have the other creatures attacking and stuff like that. Steve kind of kicking butt, Wonder Woman kicking butt, and all this kind of stuff was just a really well choreographed, I thought, fight sequence that was really enjoyable. And I thought was really entertaining in this, film. It actually kind of helped pull kind of that slowness out of kind of the previous few minutes prior to that and made it, getting you back into the film a little bit. And so I enjoyed that. I thought it was great how they brought that together. And then, of course, the scene, my all-time favorite scene, it definitely is the hospital sequence after him saying that he saved her, finally kind of, setting her straight on her thinking. I really enjoyed that finally because, like I said before, I felt it very annoying, that whole, like, only women thinking ideology that they produced at the beginning of the film. It kind of gets on your nerves, just like they kept thinking that instead of giving everything a fair chance. And so it was kind of fun to finally see her kind of be like, Trevor's like, hey, we're not all like this, okay, we're better than this and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that whole thing. I love that he put her in her place, that he like told her how it really is, and I just really enjoyed that. And I thought Nathan Fillion did a great job of expressing that and giving us a really great voiceover there, and giving us that really fantastic sequence. And especially finally kind of being these Amazonians, they really don't have too much emotions, I feel, except for anger, I feel. And so like it was nice seeing like him getting through to Diane and saying, hey, there's love, there's emotion, there's all these other things too that you should know about. And I really enjoyed that whole presence of them doing that, and I thought that was really good writing. Did you go past that? You're muted.
I don't believe so. No, sir.
Okay. Then I am done.
Andre, sir, go ahead.
Okay. So when we get to the mainlands, like that's where I think the movie comes to life. Like it's really cool to see, Trevor and Diane working together like a dynamic duo, being like a superhero team, and with Diane going to the kid in the park, like that's a sweet scene. It's not like like emotionally hitting me like the No Man's Land sequence, but I like that scene because it's inspirational. Like Wonder Woman is teaching this girl how to like play with the boys, and it's a sweet scene. I like that. After that, I like how we progress with the villain plot. Like I actually like the villain plot here, and I like how like when Trevor starts searching where Ares is, it's like incredibly scary how fast he's influencing people and in rage and violence so quickly, and so like it just shows how powerful Ares is. And of course, Wonder Woman not getting drunk was funny. Like just like Superman and the Flash, she has like the metabolism of not getting drunk. That was my favorite scene. I like that, and I love the burglars, like the muggers attacking them, and Diane is asking one of them to apologize, and I love when she breaks his arm and chokes him. Is like, apologize now, and he's like, I'm sorry, and they just ran off. Like I love that. That is so funny. Yeah, and then seeing a demigod, Demos, I think that's the brother for Ares in the comics.
Yes.
Finding Diane, this is a great fight scene. Like we need to see more Diane fighting like powerful gods or demigods, and I think this scene was a great fight sequence for Diane to see. Like, yeah, and her using her abilities, like using a lot of the lasso of truth as a weapon, strangling the creature and all that is really great. Really great fight sequence. When they get to the how you say the Hades location, that's a really great action scene. I like how you saw how Diane and Trevor are starting to connect more, and like when they're trying to infiltrate the cult Ares, and like okay, like there's one scene where they say Diane throws the knife to kill that other guard, and then simultaneously you see Trevor doing the same, and like that's really cool action scene. Yeah, this sequence was my favorite because just how dark Hades is. I agree with Cyber about the design of Hades. Like in other version Hades or like he always looks creepy. Like he has that like demonic Luke sometimes. But I think this design works because the way he like when we got the review of the son being a slave to Hades, that was creepy. Like that was my favorite scene. Like especially because when Ares like recognized his son, he's like, "Oh my god, that's my son," and he's like quickly wants to get his braces out and get out of that room quickly because of what he saw. Is just like, wow, this his uncle is just creepy as hell and messed up. One of my favorite scenes. Oh, the voice actor that voiced Hades is Oliver Platt, who's a great actor, and I think he was great choice to voice Hades. Him and Alfred Molina are great actors, and I think this is a great combo. Um, yeah, and then of course, Dan gets hurt, and I think that Hamster scene was helpful. Like I agree with Saber, that scene was definitely good because like throughout the movie, I was kind of concerned not hearing Trevor's point of view or like some male's point of view. Like okay, like we have our flaws too, and and I appreciate the hamster scene there. And then yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. Like when we get to the visual plane, yeah, Trevor having his foot in the lasso of truth is funny. It's one of my funny moments. I can't believe they did that, and I was like laughing so hard. It's one of my laugh hard moments in my life. So yeah, this section was my favorite of this film, and I mean, before we get into the battle scene, like oh my god, like I was like oh my god, this is like the Lord of the Rings of Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
you can get into the battle scene. I got kind of halfway through it. I did. I stopped it like when they kind of hit that neutral point, like
Okay.
what, like when the undead, when Ares summoned the undead Amazonians,
Okay.
and the real Amazonians showed up, but not before Artemis actually and Alexa or whatever her name is or whatever
Yeah.
whatnot.
Become good, because of the spell
Yeah,
that she
yeah.
was throwing. Yeah. Okay. So I think this was a better climax over the 2017 film, like because first off, like I don't know how you can incorporate the Amazons into battle in that version, but I mean with this, like it felt so much epic. Like it felt like a Lord of the Rings or like the Ten Commandments level of like battle like scenes, and it was really cool to see like demigods versus the Amazons, which you saw like from the beginning. It was cool to see it again because it was really cool. And just seeing um Ares in full power was like really cool. And I like first off, his design is cooler. Like I actually like his design here than the live action version because I don't know, it was just like the live action version design was just awful. But anyway, um, but yeah, it was really cool to see Ares full power, and then seeing Dan being also full power is great, and seeing the White House getting trashed was funny, and to see in a movie and getting completely destroyed, which is fun. So that's my whole sentence with that.
Okay, Cyber. I mean, if you want Cyber, if you want to hold, I'll really quick just rattle off how the battle ends and whatnot and everything, and then you can tackle the whole battle. And I'll go right to you, unless you have anything. Is there anything you want to add real quick before I go in that direction?
I do not, sir.
Okay, so as I was saying, the real life Amazons show up to kind of support the squad here, the team. And at that point, what we end up happening is, basically, Artemis and I believe her name is Alexa, one of the actual summoned dead, speak, and she is her name Alexa?
No, it's here. Let me put this out. It's Artemis is Rosie O'Donnell. This one is called, hold on, Hera. That was her name, Hera.
Oh, one of the undead.
Yes, correct. Hera.
Okay. Most definitely. All right. So basically, either way, basically at that point, I believe that I guess it's Hera that essentially tells Artemis of a I guess like a chant or something like that. Is it?
Yeah. So this was the spell that Ares was doing in the Hades location to summon the creatures, and it was a way to control them as well. So she was repeating that to her sister to like say it out loud so that it can uncontrol it unsummify the undead from like Ares control.
Oh, her
Basically.
name is Alexa. It's Alexa. It's Alexa. That's the name.
Okay.
And she basically she's the one that gives Artemis the explains to her the chant, which nullifies Ares' control over the undead. Once the undead turn on Ares, and then he kind of destroys them. In memory of Alexa, Artemis, later takes up the hobby of reading. Hippolyta, or whatever, the queen, faces Pharazone in combat, kills her. With her dying breath, Pharazone makes the queen realize that I'm a woman, right? She says, what do you want from me? I'm a woman. You know what I mean? Like, we are women. You know what I'm saying? And that was really powerful, I thought. Like, that message. And again, I don't think that would ever come out now. Like, I don't think you would ever see something like that come out, ever. And I'd like you to chime in on that when you get your opportunity and whatnot. That would never happen now in 2023. You would never see an MCU film, for instance, ever have a female character say something like that or whatever, and like this kind of dynamic.
No,
this wouldn't happen. But so essentially at that point, we end up with Diana like basically squaring off one-on-one with Ares, and basically winning. Essentially at that point, the president orders a nuclear missile strike against the Themyscira, and Trevor takes the invisible jet. He shoots down the missile just before it hits the island, and Diana beheads him, outwits him, and beheads him and kills him. And Ares, I guess, is condemned to the underworld to attend to Hades as a slave alongside his son, who looked like a crackhead. He looked like a meth head in that scene earlier. And I have seen a fat Hades before. In the comics, there was a version of Mephisto that used to be fat. That one of his manifestations of himself was like a big fat troll looking motherfucker, kind of like him, but like more like with a tail and shit and whatnot and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, no, back in the day, with like in the 80s, I think, early 90s. So basically, at that point, to wrap things up, when Diana goes back to Themyscira, her mother realizes that Diana misses the outside world and Trevor, and we have like a perfect happy ending where she tells her that she should be like a diplomat or like a representative of like the Amazonians to the outside world, like the world needs her, and like she Trevor needs her and she needs Trevor and whatnot, everything and all that and whatnot, and she's happier there. So I thought that the mother, I ended up liking her, and like overall, like she seemed like kind of an asshole in the beginning, but overall I thought she was fair. She is the queen, so she has to like give a shit about what's going on. It's her daughter. But it's kind of cute. I mean, you see Cheetah at the end, right? At that point, she's Wonder Woman, the superhero, and they're together. Her and Steve are happy and happy together or whatever. So Cyber, my friend, final thoughts. Wrap it all up. Battle, how it ends, right? Have at it.
So so basically the end of the film, like you mentioned, we get Steve stops the missile from blowing them up while they're all fighting. The big army comes out. Ares comes out to fight along with his new lover, and then of course the Amazonians show up for the final battle as well, which was really cool. I thought the ocean entrance was really cool looking. I thought the animation was really awesome. And that epic scene, I feel like that final battle sequence was really awesome. I thought that the Ares and Wonder Woman fight was kind of generic a little bit. I thought there could have been more to it. Thought it could have been a little better because I felt like they really focused more on the Amazonians fighting and everything like that instead of that fight between Wonder Woman and Ares, which I thought like it wasn't bad, but I feel like it could have been better. It could have been more of a focus. And I thought that was really cool how they did that and everything. And I thought it was really well animated and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, her taking off Ares' head was awesome. And I love how he like calls out to Zeus. He's like, Zeus, but Zeus doesn't do anything because it's like, Ares, you caused this. You're an idiot. Like, why would he help you? He's not going to help you. And so. That sequence is really well done. They end. Basically, we end up seeing Ares down and back in the underworld with Hades. Now he's like basically like a slave, like his son. And then basically then it shows it goes back to the island where the Amazonians are. And basically, Wonder Woman's mother notices that she's bored. She's bored. She's not happy there, and tells her that she can become the ambassador for their race and the human race. And basically gets to go live with Steve. They're happy together. I think that end sequence where they're she's all dressed up like as Diana Prince, and she sees that there's needs help and that she needs to get into action as Wonder Woman. That whole squabble there, it's like, don't be late now. Dinner's at 7, which was absolutely friggin' hilarious. Totally like an old married couple. And that was really done well. And then her going into action, and then that flying fist at the end, hitting into Cheetah was just like a superb way to end it.
Yeah.
And great music throughout this whole film. The ending sequence music was really done well. Overall, just a really fantastic little film. It was really well done. A lot better, like I said, the second time around watching it. I have a better appreciation for it. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favorite of the 4 we've watched, but it's definitely not the worst. And I thought they did a really good job with everything. All the voiceovers were really well done, and it was really enjoyable or really fun.
All right, Andres.
Sure. I think this whole section was great. It was epic in so many capacities. I think I do agree with Cyber that the battle between maybe Ares and Wonder Woman could be maybe better, but I think it was I think that was maybe the point, having the Amazons versus the demigods there sort of to balance out, because if you're just focused on those two, like it's going to be the whole Man of Steel problem. What a lot of people had with the ending of Man of Steel, like just having two powerful gods versus it and just cut out of damage. I think it was good that we had like a lot of plot going on during the Ares and Diane fight in the White House in Washington D.C., which is good. And then this battle, seeing Artemis actually learn to be smart like her sister Alexa was, that was kind of cool. And I like how that pays out towards the end for her to read a book, and I like how her remark towards the end was like, reading is so boring. When she was talking to the the queen towards the end. And and then the queen, she has a major arc, for her to learn that being isolated is not healthy or making the island evolve. The whole point of being part of the man's world is be in equality, be equal, to work together and unite. And with with the female villain of Fightstone, when she killed her, she explains why she betrayed the Amazons is because, well, I wanted to be loved, I wanted to have a family and have some kids, and so I like how that she helped push the queen to think about more about the future at the Amazons and the Paradise Island, to be more connected to the men's world. So that's why she allowed Diane to go to continue to be Wonder Woman and be with Trevor, because and also like she with Wonder Woman, and this been consistent throughout Wonder Woman's medium, is like she's a explorer. Wonder Woman is like Indiana Jones, like she likes to explore the world and all that, and wants to help people. And I think it's good that her mother allows her to do that. Yeah, and of course Diane killing Ares by cutting off the head is great. I was like, oh my god, and as Cyber was saying, him like pleading for Zeus to rescue him again, just like the beginning. It was not gonna happen. Come on, dude. Hades told you that there was a deal. If you were going to do this again, you're not going to be safe again. And like it was ridiculous. And so it was great payoff. That just like how the mother killed the son, the daughter killed the father as well the same way, and that was so poetic, which is great. And yeah, and just seeing Ares being enslaved to Hades, just like the son, was like really creepy, and I was like, that was a great way to end. And if we had a sequel to this movie, like Hades could have been the major villain for a sequel, because where we left off and all that, all that, because unfortunately with this movie it didn't perform well in the home sales, and so that's why we never got like another follow up for this, which is a shame. But we'll get to that later, but whatever. But yeah, so seeing Dan, doing the Clark Kent thing of wearing the glasses was just great. Seeing Trevor and them being a couple was really awesome. Which is funny. And I'll be late to dinner. I was like, okay. Yeah, seeing Chia in full action, and then seeing the girl saying Wonder Woman was great, to call her Wonder Woman, because the DCAU, I mean, I know the Zack Snyder film, the Justice League cut, call her Wonder Woman, but for a while we never call her Wonder Woman in the live action movies. So it was great to hear her name in this movie towards the end. And yeah, her punching towards the screen, punching Chia was a great way to end the film. And yeah, the score was great. Like it really mixed like the action to like Greek like score, which was great. So yeah, overall I love this movie. It's like, again, it's one of the best superhero origins that this series did. This is like the first time they're actually doing it, because we're gonna get another origin story with Green Lantern in the first flight. So this was actually a great start to doing that, and I think they did such a good job of depicting Wonder Woman here. It was great because Gail Simone, who's a Wonder Woman writer, she actually helped wrote this movie. So that was great. So you got a Wonder Woman writer helping you make this movie be a true great Wonder Woman movie, and that's really good. And I think this movie did such a good job. Is it comparing it to the 2017 film, like it's on par with that. I think this has a better villain portrayal for Ares, so I really like the villain here. So I highly recommend it. As I say before, it's fourth place for me.
The fact that you're even comparing an animated movie to a fucking live action movie, even having that comparison, just right there on its own, just shows that like this is a better film than the Wonder Woman live action movie. Or else you wouldn't even nobody even does that comparison to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
the only time I do that is either Batman. Like
I'm just saying, like, let's be honest here. How often do we ever really contrast animated shit to like live action? It doesn't really make any sense. It's not really all that logical. It doesn't translate. Like it's not
a common thing.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's like trying to use What If and compare it to anything that we've seen in the MCU.
Yeah.
Besides, like, mentioning the What If stuff that we saw in like Doctor Strange Multiverse and the Madness and whatnot, like the zombie Wanda like shit like type of vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
Spider-Verse. Like Spider-Verse versus No Way Home. Like if we ever discuss Spider-Man stuff, like Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse is my number one favorite.
Oh no, never talk about Spider-Man on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, Andres. It'll never happen.
Why? Like, come on. We need to discuss Spider-Verse. Like, that's important.
I'm joking. I'm joking, brother.
Oh, okay, good. Because you gave me a heart attack.
No, come on. Listen,
So-
we get copyright violations all the time and whatnot, just from like trailers that we played of Spider-Man from a year ago and shit and whatnot. And they're still giving us fucking like copyright violations. So
That's
that's
such a joke.
That's how much we covered Spider-Man. Anyways, folks, we already did our ratings. All right. Andres gave it a 9. I gave it a 10, and Cyber gave it what, an 8? Right there, you go. So we're at the 155 mark. We wanted to get out of here before 2 hours. We're gonna make sure it happens at that point. You know, thank you very much for all of you that checked out the show, enjoyed it, and whatnot, and everything. Thank you very much as always to Cyberneticshark, my loyal co-host, a good friend. And who I still need to talk to and figure out how we're gonna do our show in Daytona Beach on vacation and shit in Florida and whatnot at Rockville, baby. What's aren't you excited?
Sure.
I would. Come on, man. How often do you get to go to Daytona Beach?
I've never been to Daytona Beach.
But Andres, wouldn't you be excited to go to Daytona Beach?
Nope. I'll probably be more excited to go to London soon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's understandable. But no, but Cyber likes good like heavy metal like rock music, and there's going to be some really good bands he's going to get to catch.
That's
so,
good.
I know he's excited about that shit, whether he wants to admit it or not. He's looking forward to seeing some good ass music and whatnot. Everything. So it's fun.
Do you have a favorite band? Favorite band?
I don't know someone Cyber's favorite band is. He's never told me.
Oh.
Disturbed.
Disturbed.
Oh,
okay. Well,
I need to
unfortunately,
check
Disturbed is not in Rockville, unfortunately, but there's some good bands. So we're gonna see definitely see some good bands. But no, bottom line, folks, great review. Thank you once again, Andres, for coming on.
Thank you.
Like I said, Wednesdays, besides I guess the Guardians of the Galaxy review, right, which will be 2 weeks from now, essentially, I believe.
Yes.
We'll be doing DC animated film reviews. So our next one, as Andres already mentioned, is Green Lantern. Besides that, this Friday we have the Wyatt Earp, Kevin Costner, Kurt Russell Tombstone show. I don't know how you want to title that one, like not review, but like comparison or whatever, Cyber, that we're doing on Friday. So 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. And on Sunday, Cyber. And on Sunday, I will be at it with Jasmine, and we will be banging out some MCU, DCU, current rumors, news, leaks, whatever's going on this week. We'll be talking about it. So, besides that, Andres, you lucky son of a bitch, you get to do your plugs first. How about that? Don't you feel lucky, sir?
Sure. I already put my link to the chat.
Oh, yeah? What do you think about this shit? How about that? What's up with that now, huh?
Alright. So, very quickly, this is my second channel, everyone. This is DC Marvel Plus Talk. Basically, it's the second channel where I mainly focus on DC and Marvel content. So, as you see there, there's pretty much, all the podcasts of Marvel, all Marvel content, and pretty much DC Plus Talk is all about DC content. So, alright, check it out, and please hit that subscribe button, and to make that second channel grow faster. So, that's all I'm saying.
Most definitely. And hold on, I'll go ahead and I'll get your other one in there too. I will. Don't worry, we've got time.
Yeah.
The wonders of technology. Andres, the pop culture guy, channel presents.
Yes, so this is my first channel. This is my baby. 9 years been doing this channel. I'm so proud of it. Oh, look, 742 subscribers. Oh, okay, I'm so happy now. Anyway, so this channel is mainly pop culture stuff. Pretty much various things I've been doing. Top 10 lists, tributes to TV and movie stuff. All the range from pop culture stuff, so basically.
Well, there you go. Cyberneticshark, my friend. Let me switch over to you. And I will gladly let you plug away as my echo continues in the background over on Andre's end, fucking me up. Killing my buds and
Sorry.
shit, man. Fucking me up. It's alright.
Don't blame me. Blame your echo.
Blame the echo? What the fuck? Oh, man. That's some new shit, man. What are you on some are you on some crackhead logic these days? What's up?
Excuse me, I'm an old soul who was born in the 60s, so I don't know how this technology.
I know. Cyber, my friend. What is going on?
All right, so of course, as always, like I always say, if you enjoy me here on the MC Bleeding Edge, definitely check out my solo content underneath Cyberneticshark. You can find me on all the different social media platforms. As you see here is my YouTube channel. As you can see, my most recent video up is my Blue Beetle trailer reaction, so definitely check that out. Dungeons & Dragons is up. Like I said, I'll be having a few more videos up here soon. You'll be seeing a couple more reviews, some more trailer reactions, stuff like that. I'm slowly approaching the 650 mark and all that kind of good stuff. As you can see with my shorts, I'm recently doing the Ice Age series, so keep an eye out for those.
I'll go out there, YouTube land, something Shark here with all new video for you guys.
Look at that. Try to
do the film.
Man.
Inception.
There you go.
Oh,
Inception,
yeah.
people.
Inception.
Look at that shit,
This
folks.
came out in 2010. Stars, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio. Ellen Page.
Good shot, Cyber.
Directed by Christopher Nolan. Stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Ken Wannabe. I mean,
Where'd you
huge
find
cast.
that?
Huge, amazing cast.
On the internet.
Did you just? I didn't see that when I was looking for the thumbnail. My thumbnail. I couldn't.
Yeah, I just typed in Inception, Inception movie posters, and I found that one amongst them.
No, I didn't see that shot.
Yeah,
well,
there's a lot of cool shots for posters for Inception.
Well,
there's
hey,
a lot.
Listen, I want to shout out Matthew over at over across the pond, or not across the pond. I'm sorry, across the Pacific Ocean in Australia. Matthew from Born to Watch podcast YouTube channel. They hit 1,000 subs recently. So you guys are killing it over there. Great job, Matthew. And that motherfucker loves us so much. I think he's been on the panel, Cyber, like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 months. Yep. Even though there's a 14-hour time difference, he's been on the show like 5 times in like the last 2 months. So thank you very much, Matthew. You've been great, man. You're a great guest. We appreciate you, man. We can't wait to meet your mates, man. Me and Cyber. We're gonna kick it with y'all. Matthew's trying to make sure that me and Cyber get on their first live. When they do their first live stream, they're going to try to bring me and Cyber on to the live. So, anyway, Cyber, as always, sir, I will be out there ready to suck dick and all that stuff and everything, man, to get you to that 1,000 sub mark. I'm trying to not have that happen. I'm trying to. I really don't want to. I'm trying to avoid it. But right. I mean, I'm going to have to put more of an effort into more of a. Not so homosexual angle with my promotion and advertising of your subscriber count. Either way, Andres, I'm telling you, we should have a competition and put some money on who's going to hit 1,000 first between Cyber and Andres. On the YouTube channel.
No.
And get
Me
that
and
shit
Cyber
going.
are good friends. Cyber, I'm gonna talk to my fairy godmother to boost your subscribers soon. No worries, buddy. I'm gonna get to that.
His
support Andres.
Woohoo!
Support Andres. Support Cyberneticshark, please. Support the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We support you. We love you. We try to entertain you, right? And Wonder Woman was fucking bomb as shit. And we'll see you next time. And catch me outside.
The hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep. Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Catch her outside means she'll go outside and do what she has to do. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
okay,
all,
yeah.
This is all, but don't you see that this is all mouth? This is mouth.
Oh,
So you want to take...
Yo, can you imagine if she caught Wonder Woman outside? Yo, she would get fucked up, kid.